Hello everyone, today we will be discussing show, don't tell language, a strategy used for creative writing. Showing versus telling. When you're writing, it's important that you interest the reader by showing them with descriptive language rather than directly stating the elements in the story. When you're showing somebody something, that means you're describing using descriptive language a situation or a place. You want to create a mental image within the reader's mind. This engages the reader, makes them more interested in your writing, and helps to describe feelings, places, thoughts, and actions. This is compared to telling. When you're telling somebody something, that means you're just stating facts and opinion. You're basically just telling the reader what they should think and what they should feel, when you really want the reader to kind of gauge that from your descriptive language. So let's notice the difference as I read the two different passages or sentences. When you're telling somebody something, an example of this could be, last Saturday was a nice fall day. Let's look at the difference when I read the showing passage. I woke up Saturday morning and looked outside my bedroom window. The tops of the trees were covered in red, orange, and yellow leaves. The sun was shining as I watched my dog playing in the backyard. I could hear his paws crunching on the fallen leaves. As he ran to catch the tennis ball, my dad threw across the yard. So as I read that, I didn't explicitly in the beginning, I didn't tell you that it was fall. I was able to create a mental image within my head. If I know that trees are covered in red, orange, and yellow leaves, the sun is shining, we're crunching on the fallen leaves, not once did I tell you that it is fall. But I was able to infer, or I was able to come to the conclusion that it's fall based on my descriptive language. Let's take a look at one more example. If I was telling you something, this is what it would look like. James was the tallest boy in his class. Now, let's look at this a different way. Let's use this in the showing way. If I was showing you this, I would say, "Okay, it's time for the class picture," yelled the photographer. My whole class walked over to the row of chairs that had been set up in the corner of the library. One by one, the photographer told us where to go. He looked over at James. You're definitely going to be in the back row," he said as he pointed to the back. James walked over and stood in the back of Ava's chair. The photographer picked up his camera and looked through the lens. "You're going to have to bend your knees a little bit to fit in the picture," he said to James. Now, I hope you noticed that through that reading, I did not tell you once that James was tall. But based on the information that I highlighted, such as you're definitely going to be in the back row and you're going to have to bend your knees a little to fit in the picture, I was able to infer by the writer showing me that James is pretty tall. Good writers show, not tell. You don't want to keep telling your reader things. You want to keep them guessing. You want them to be interested. So writers tell when they write general sentences. Telling sentences tend to be short and dull, just like we saw in the example on the previous slide. But when you're showing, writers show when they write descriptive sentences that help the reader draw a mental picture of what's happening in the story. It really helps the reader picture what's going on. Click on the link below to see a worksheet full of suggestions for show, don't tell. And I hope to see you next time on another video by Modeled for You.